Tweet, 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 bird, bird, tweet,
Now we're.
Hey! Wait, come back. Hang on. Welcome to Store Brand Comics, the Store Brand cartoon show. Still figuring out how to actually introduce this when we sit down. I'm Tio. This is Mom.
Hi, I'm Mom.
And today we're talking about the animated Korean film Satellite Girl and Milk Cow. This is one that neither of us had seen before recording the video. And goodness Lord, am I happy we went into it mostly blind.
It's really good.
It is. It's very fun. This is the first one so far that my mom has actually been like, we should show this one to Dad. Which surprised me. I don't know that this one's necessarily up his alley.
He sat through Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yeah.
So he would get this one.
And this one is a little Hitchhiker-esque in just its like non-sequitur.
Absurdness.
Yeah, absurdity and like the non-sequiturs of all the humor. I'm not going to say it's quite as intelligently written as Hitchhikers. It's definitely very different.
Yeah.
It has more of a. You see, the weird thing is, it has a fairly consistent internal logic, except a couple of things here and there. But all of the logic is nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there is one thing in the movie though where it's like it just kind of breaks its own rules for one little bit, and it's like, okay, well that. Remember the bit where he falls in the river?
Yes. Yeah, that was... We were hollering.
Yeah, there was one point in the movie.
Because we're like, hey!
Because,
it doesn't match!
Yeah, because there's a, So the setup for this movie, we should probably establish this, is there is a girl who is actually a satellite, a surveillance satellite that was meant to observe the Korean peninsula. And then she hears someone's music from down in Korea.
Well, go back. The reason why this is significant as far as hearing the music is because
she's shut down.
She's shut down. She's out of date. She's, just floating in space.
She's old. She's like a 20-year-old satellite. She's out of commission. So, she hears music, like, for the first time in a long time, and, decides to seek out
it touches
that
your
voice.
soul.
Yeah. She decides to seek out that voice. So on her way down, she gets transformed into a girl by a sentient roll of toilet paper named Merlin. It's the wizard Merlin as a roll of toilet paper.
Oh my god. It is the funniest. Like, it's so out of nowhere. Like, all of a sudden there's this roll, and at first you're like, is that paper towel? What is that?
Yeah,
is
when you saw it, I think your first thought was like, is that a potato or something like that? Or...
Yeah, and then I'm like, is that paper towel? What is that? And no, he identifies as a roll of toilet paper later, but it is the funniest thing I think I have seen in a really long time. Like, it is so out and left field. I mean, it is a bouncing roll of toilet paper. I mean... And he's undercover.
And then
he's a wizard.
And he's a wizard. And then they find out that the guy whose voice brought the satellite down to Earth and transformed her into a girl, he's been brokenhearted, so he got transformed into a cow. And they're very specific. He's a milk cow.
A milk cow.
I think that's a translation thing. They probably did that to match the word flap. Because they probably. The Korean word for cow might not just be one syllable, so they probably specified milk cow to fit the number of syllables.
Oh. Toilet paper.
Oh yeah, there he is. The roll of toilet
right
paper.
On the front cover.
Right on the front cover. So, yeah, this is definitely a fun movie, but there's a point where the cow gets like a human suit that he gets to wear. It's hard to breathe in, but it's made of the toilet paper that Merlin
It's magic
produces,
toilet paper.
Magic toilet paper. And it like comes apart in the rain and stuff. Like he's got to be very careful with it because it's fragile because it's toilet paper.
Yeah. Well, he even got just barely nicked on the side of his face, and poof, he popped out of the person.
But then there's one point where he falls in a river and it doesn't come undone.
And he gets to keep the suit.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So that's
continuity,
that's the one,
people. Continuity.
That's the one moment in the movie though where like the movie's own logic is broken.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's like the bad guy carries a plunger and travels through reflective surfaces and steals the livers of people who've been transformed into animals.
Okay, so one of the first scenes where all of these characters get introduced in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah. Every single one of these characters is established from the beginning of the movie.
So, we have this wizard in the woods where the satellite falls, and he wigs out because he turns her into a girl, but she's, metal, so she's naked.
Yeah, she's a robot.
And so he puts magic toilet paper clothes on her. And...
oh my goodness, a naked girl.
And
his voice is the best.
It is.
We watched the English dub.
It's super wizard, toilet paper wizard voice.
I feel violated.
And, so, but then all of a sudden there's this bad guy chasing this zebra. And I'm not going to tell you how he kills the zebra, but he's chasing down these broken-hearted creatures to take their livers.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna leave it at that.
Yeah.
You have to watch. It is the most hilarious thing I think I've ever seen in my life. It was a very, very happy little liver.
Yeah, and he
very bouncy and happy when it came out.
And he carries a plunger that shoots laser beams.
Yes.
He travels through mirrors and windows.
Who thought this up? Like, the wizard is toilet paper. The bad guy carries a plunger.
The main character one of the main characters turned into a cow because he was brokenhearted. A
milk cow.
A satellite turned into a girl. There's this dog who he's the main character's dog. And he's more like a roommate than a dog, and the way he's drawn is like you can see all the other characters are drawn with like depth, with like the way the light hits them. And
yeah,
like, they look three-dimensional, even
fur,
though it's two-dimensional. This dog is drawn like he's lit differently.
It's
like
just a gray blob that walks around with eyes, and he looks like a dog.
Yeah, like he was scribbled on top of the movie rather than drawn into it, which is hilarious and awesome. The first time you see the dog, it took me a second to process that he was a dog, because he's just walking out of the bathroom with rubber gloves and a toilet brush in his hand.
Yeah, he's been like cleaning the house.
And then someone knocks at the door, so he just takes the gloves off, drops the brush, gets down, and starts growling. It's hilarious.
Well, and then he like drives the car later
with like a Dick Tracy trench coat on.
And it reminds me of an American cartoon. I can't think of what the American cartoon is, but it's kind of a throwback to something from here. I just can't place it. Something from when you guys were kids. But yeah, and he never talks.
Oh yeah, the dog doesn't make a single noise.
He's the only one who he like rolls his eyes in the background kind of thing. He's like the quiet straight guy.
Yeah.
He's just funny. Okay, and then the milk okay, let's go back to the milk cow. The milk cow who has a broken heart and apparently has the teats of a cat.
Right, because they have to make money by selling his milk.
Because they've run out of everything, and he's going to get kicked out of his apartment, and everybody needs a place to live because she's got to have somewhere she can power up because she's a satellite,
and he's got to have somewhere to hide from the plunger man.
Right, and he's got to have somewhere to hide, so he has to endure the shame of being milked. It's not an udder.
It's 6 teats.
It's 6 teats like a cat. Like, what the hell? Where did that even come from? I mean, Korea is if you can draw and make stuff like this, you can understand a cow has an udder.
Yeah.
Like, y'all eat beef over there.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, they have cows over there. They know how it works. We haven't even touched on the incinerator thing.
Oh.
There's this giant walking furnace trying to...
There's like 2 bad guys.
Yeah. But the bad guys aren't on the same team.
No.
They're competing with each other.
Yes.
And the incinerator is like this force of nature that's just walking around incinerating basically whoever
The
can pick
broken-hearted.
Yeah, but then like and I guess anything that gets in its way too.
Yeah.
Because it also tried to incinerate the girl and the plunger man at various points.
True.
So,
True.
but yeah, so like the incinerator is like this force of nature, whereas the plunger man's a more direct antagonist.
It's like a walking iron oven from the homesteading days. Like, it makes no sense. It's
Yes, this movie is incredible.
It is.
And I have to say, this is probably one.
And I hope we're not giving all the good parts away.
Oh, we're definitely not. There's so much in this movie. This is one of those movies that I think we as a family will probably revisit this one again.
This thing is... It's so stupid, it's good.
Yes. I was expecting this movie to play its concept with a little more straight-faced. Just because it seemed like the type of movie that would. But no, this movie, you can tell from the beginning, this movie knows exactly how goofy it is.
Oh, yeah.
It's very self-aware. Like,
oh, yeah.
You can tell they knew they were making a comedy.
It's good stuff.
So yeah, this one, let's see here, what else is there to say about it? I'm not very familiar with its, overall, background and production and things like that, because I'm just not as familiar with Korean animation as I am with American or Japanese. Like I'd say I know the most about American animation.
Oh, the one thing that you did say though is that they do have a far more conservative style.
They do
than say like Japanese or American. Like even the anatomy that they created, as far as like the bobos on the cow, they were really non-anatomical.
Yeah. The
naked satellite girl, she had no anatomy. She looked like she had a cat suit on. Like everything was covered. There was no like pieces and parts.
Yeah, well, whenever nudity is depicted in a less age-restricted anime, that is typically what they go for too. It's like a featureless form.
Yeah, okay. So I mean, like, your kids, I didn't even realize that the satellite was naked until he went, oh, a naked girl. I didn't realize that. So, I mean, because I look for stuff that is like in your face, just because, I know I'm old enough to have grandkids and I know what I would have allowed my children to watch, and, stuff with like right on, like the last one we watched with the boobies.
Red Line.
That one.
Oh, yeah, no, that one's not made for kids though either.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't let a kid watch Red Line. I wouldn't let a kid watch Beowulf.
No.
But I would let a kid watch Satellite Girl.
Oh, heck yes. That one is funny.
This is a movie for the family.
And now it has, there's maybe scary elements, so you might not it depends on what you feel is scary. If you're looking at like little bitties, like 3-4 years old, they might not understand that the oven that's chasing everybody around is just, it's not a real thing.
Yeah.
So
that would be scary for particularly small children.
I would just use my wisdom as a parent and as far as what you let them watch, because the oven can be a little scary at times, just because it's very, stomp, and it's big and rah.
It's a big metal thing with an incinerator in its belly.
Yeah. It's an oven monster.
Yeah. And it burns things alive, like that's its whole thing.
Yeah, so.
It's
there's no screaming or blood or anything like that.
There was screaming when they're about to be thrown into the oven. They're, yelling like, "No, please don't."
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay.
They're screaming in that sense, like I don't want
to
die.
But like, it's not after they're in there. You watch them burn to death.
Oh yeah, no. You don't see anything once they're inside. It throws them in and closes itself up, and you don't even hear anything.
You don't know anything after that. That's really what I meant more than anything.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So this is definitely one for families. So yeah, Satellite Girl and Milk Cow. This one's Korean. So if you think that we directed you towards an interesting movie that you might enjoy, go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. That's in order. And we will see you next time. We can see you. Put some pants on.